Greetings in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and welcome to this episode of Explain. My name is Bosire Benson and today we want to talk about technology. Yes, and that's a very, very wide area, but we'll just try and see the basics about technology that can help us make sense of it and also appreciate it as Christians especially. So today I have a guest, a good friend of mine, and he will start by telling us what his name is and where he works. Karibu sana.
Asante.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Joel. Joel Otieno. I work for a tech logistics company. I'm currently based in Kakamega.
Kakamega, Kenya.
Yes, Kakamega, Kenya.
Okay, so you're a tech person. Did you study about technology or how did it happen?
Well, in school I didn't study about tech, but over the years I've picked interest. I've taken a few courses in tech. And also, I think I'd pride myself to be a self-taught techie, if something like that is existent.
Yeah, and I think most of the people learn technology as they use it, and also if you have the interest, that's how you get to know it better and better. Yeah, sure. Anywhere you've worked before, apart from where you're working currently?
Yes, so I think I've had a number of jobs. But the most tech-related job I had, there's a time I was doing some work for Google. I was training people on digital skills, just how to leverage on the internet to make money. Then I was also freelancing as a web designer, maintaining and making a couple of websites. Yeah.
So, and all those things you've taught yourself to do?
Yes.
Okay, you must be a genius.
Thanks to YouTube, that's been my school, which I learned most of the things.
You know, there's that Kenyan who learned how to throw a javelin through YouTube. Another Kenyan is learning something through YouTube, and I think that's an awesome way because now information is everywhere. If somebody wants to learn, they can be able to learn something that will be of help. Now, what is technology first and foremost?
Well, I'll keep referring to my notes here, just for the purpose of reference. But technology is any scientific application. So
there's a concept of science, and then when you apply it in real life, in solving something, it becomes technology.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, for example, you learn the laws about waves, and then if you use those waves to make sound, that is technology.
That's technology, basically.
Okay.
It's not only limited to specific areas. That is IT. It's simply on everything. Even we have agricultural technology whereby you can apply. You just get a systemic way of how that thing works, and then you apply it on that particular area. So that's technology. I guess everyone is a technologist.
There's something you're applying.
Even our mothers, when they're cooking, the systemic cooking and everything, the application.
So they may never understand actually that the fire produces heat. That is in the process, whatever it's called, radiation or conduction, that's how you're able to get to Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to fully understand technology to use it. Most of us actually don't understand some of the things that we use, but we use them. And you just mentioned IT. What is IT?
IT is information technology. So it's the study of computers. I'd limit these to computers for in the areas of storage, sending and sharing of data. So data is just the information that is stored on our computers.
Okay. So if it's technology now that it's about information, that's when it's called information technology.
Information technology.
And then you mentioned the word data.
Yes.
Meaning?
Data is just information that might be in form of pictures, in form of text, text in documents. We have
audio.
different types of documents and audio. Yes.
So those beyond your data, and then
beyond your data,
how does it become information?
So you see, when data is stored, it carries some aspects of something about it. So let's say if I would type maybe notes from a meeting. It's data. When you look at it, it's data, but it has information in it that shows
something sensible that can be of use to someone. Okay. So then computers. What is a computer? Is my phone a computer? Because some people they never. A computer and a phone are different things. Help us understand that first.
So yes, so a computer basically manipulates the data. It's where we store the data. It's what we use to transfer the data. It's what we use to process the data. There is special languages that write computer languages. So computer wouldn't just understand all the languages. So there are special languages used by specialists to write those particular languages in order for them to
make sense of the data. Okay. Yes. So if I'm on a keyboard, I'm typing J. How does the computer understand that is a J?
So there is a language that has been used that converts that language.
That pressing converts it into something meaningful on the screen now.
On the screen, yes.
Okay.
So the keyboard is an input device.
The mouse.
The mouse is an input device, which means it is used to enter data.
Input data.
Yeah.
So it's in the computer now. That's where we have some computers nowadays don't have it. Well, what we call the CPU.
CPU,
what CPU means?
Central processing unit.
So meaning that it's processing what has been put in.
Yes.
To make sense of it for the person using, for the user.
Yes. So just a correction. All devices all devices that are considered as computers do have CPUs. It's only that with age, with technology and age, we've minimized the size
of the CPU.
Our phone, basically the smartphone that most of us have, most of them actually run on a CPU. So when you're going to buy, currently when you're buying a phone, there is the talk of GPU. So that is...
So GPU means?
I'm not so sure. Maybe I'll share it next time, but I'm not so sure. I don't want to share what I'm not so sure about. Yeah. So most of the devices have been compressed into very, very tiny. We have something like even a thumb, this size.
Yeah, and that's what is powering.
That's what is powering
the phone or
the phone or
Yes. So in the past they were big.
In the past, the very first one I think was the size of a room. And over time, scientists and technologists
becoming smaller and smaller.
Smaller and smaller. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and then so we put in the data. You've typed in something, and then a processor does something to the information. Then you can see it on the screen.
Yes.
As something sensible that you can make sense of, and you can apply something. You can use it for your work.
Yes.
Whatever you want to use it for.
Yes.
So then that whole process. That's what makes it. What I'm trying to get at in computer. The word compute. Does it mean a mathematical process? How does now the processing happen for the data I've put in so that it's now sensible to the person who's working on it?
Yes, there's a bit of mathematics with computers. So the language that the CPU understands is, to us human beings, we can't really understand it. There is what we call the, not binary, forgetting the name, but it is in I's and O's. So that is what the computer understands. It's just basically, it's like a switch. So one switch goes off, another one goes on. That's how the computer understands the language. So the language that translates this information to the computer to understand, for it to process that information, has to convert it. Now when we input it as a human being, we input it as what we understand. So like maybe I'm using a word processor. I'll just type my name, Joel. Then the language will translate it to the computer.
So it understands what?
Yeah. So it will translate it, and then the computer will process it and
back
then
to
give
the human
it
being.
back in a way that, in the language that we still understand. That is where the different languages come in.
And we're talking about languages for the computer.
Yes.
Is it Chinese or Korean?
Yes, so we do have different languages. From time to time we keep...
So these are coded, there's a set of characters, a way that the computer now will interpret whatever is given to it.
Yes, so there's a way, if it's a bit technical that if we'd start it here, maybe it'd take us a...
Yeah, just mention two languages.
Two languages. So the most basic one is HTML. No, HTML isn't considered actually a language. I talk of Python and which other one? Which is I'm forgetting the languages.
So Python is a language.
Python is a language.
It's not an animal, a snake.
It's not. So we do have Python, the animal, which is found in zoos and forests, and we do also have Python as a language,
a computer language. So maybe I've heard of people called coders. Coding, yes.
So coding is basically the art of writing the language. Yes.
So you're
writing a set of instructions.
Okay. Which for the computer now to understand something.
Yes.
Okay. So, for example, if you want a computer to know this color blue is this one, you have to tell it. If you see this kind of characters, then you know this is blue.
Then this is color blue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So they are not that bright computers. They have to be taught.
Well, over time, we do have AI and artificial intelligence, basically, whereby computers, there are a group of people who are trying to make the computers understand. So basically developing a computer brain. We haven't reached a point of perfection, 100% perfection, but we are at a point where computers can really interpret the languages. Let me use the most common one what do we use in form of data for people who are sports enthusiasts. We do have smartwatches. Yeah, so that smartwatch keeps on tracking your heart rate, and so it keeps on collecting information about you. And then it has this information stored somewhere, either on cloud or on the device itself. Then it translates. So that is when it will give you information back that maybe you
need to see the doctor.
You need to see a doctor, or your heart rate is low. This, so yes.
And that is. No human being is interfering with that. So the computer, the watch collects the information.
Processes the information,
and then gives you back the feedback. Okay. Then you mentioned, I think for you people in the tech world, you use a lot of short forms and words that you think should mean something to us.
Yes.
The word smart. If I'm saying that my watch is smart, my phone is smart, my TV is smart, what do I mean actually?
So smartness is the smart aspect is just the bit of, there is the aspect of data collection and then processing the data and giving you back information. Let me use an example of a smart TV. A smart TV basically would collect information on what you keep on viewing and then recommend other similar programs back to you.
Okay.
Yes.
So then it's not just a passive TV.
Yeah, it's not just a passive TV that is seated there.
It's learning about me.
Yes, it collecting information about you. Then it gives you back, tells you like, hey, maybe last week you've been watching a number of documentaries. So
there's a new one.
Can you try this one out?
And then, so there's the TV itself, and it has to be connected on the internet.
Yes,
for that to happen.
Definitely.
So is there somebody else also who's interested in the information I'm giving the TV?
Yes. So in the world of marketing, the internet has really revolutionized marketing, such that I don't know if you're a constant user of YouTube, you would find YouTube keeps on recommending.
New videos.
Same on the similar subject you are
keep watching. Yeah.
So if you watch YouTube for quite some time, the people who are the owners of YouTube will basically look. Bosire has been watching maybe lots of documentary about maybe COVID. So they'll start recommending other products about COVID to you. Basically, not basically, on the same subject, and also when you see the marketing information that will be coming to you, it will just be around.
So they'll maybe be telling me about medication, WHO's information about. Okay.
Yes.
So then it's not also just information somewhere that doesn't make any sense. Somebody is using it to actually make money.
Yes, true.
So that's why I'm able to watch YouTube for free.
Yes.
But somebody else also is gaining a lot of money from that. Is it a lot of money first and foremost?
Depending on the kind of content you're posting inside there. We've had people who are making millions on YouTube.
In a month.
People are collecting lots and lots of money on such
platforms. So if I have a YouTube channel, I've started a YouTube channel. What do I need for me to make money?
So basically, you need to meet the set parameters that have been set for YouTube for your channel to be monetized. Monetized meaning you start
making money. Okay. That means maybe I have 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers or a number of
viewership. Okay. So if I have those, and then now my channel is up and it's running.
So depending also on the subject that you're, whatever you're sharing
discussing
on your channel. So let's say maybe it's a cook channel, it's a cooking channel, it's a food channel. So what YouTube will do, they'll start recommending more adverts about food. To the people who watch your channel.
Okay.
So when they watch that particular advert, it means advertisement has happened
on my channel, Sasa.
Yeah.
So when I'm starting to watch somebody's video, and then before the video starts, there's an advert.
There's an advert. Yes.
Means that person who is hosting that advert at that moment, that channel, somebody is being paid for that one.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what you're saying now. From that, people are making a lot of money. So there are songs that 4 billion people have watched.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of money for that person.
Yes, that is basically the one of the methods. And then also, once you've grown your channel to a substantial number, then it means also other brands will start coming to want to partner with you so that they can also
get your viewers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So then the company itself now, the YouTube. YouTube is owned by?
YouTube is owned by Google.
Google, okay.
Yes.
So Google is the parent company.
Yes.
How do they make money out of YouTube?
So once they collect this ad revenue, so when, let's say I'm a business, I don't want to call the name of brands here, but let's say I'm brand X and I want to advertise. So I'll post my ad on Google. I'll post it on YouTube, that is. I'll say that this is my ad, I'll prepare a nice ad and post it there. So they'll charge me some amount.
So I'll pay Google, the company?
Yes, so you'll pay as per the number of views your ad has been seen. So once I've paid that, then my ad now will be targeted to different audiences that relate to the brand, the product I'm selling. Yes. So and as people continue viewing, my bill keeps racking up, and then at the end of the day, Google will take a percentage and pay the content creators some percentage. Yes.
And they remain with some of that money.
Yes.
And is that how much money averagely do Google make out of, for example, YouTube?
Not so sure the figures, but they do take a percentage, which is not so big of a percentage, just a small percentage.
Okay. So that is about YouTube and how people make money out of that. And as you mentioned earlier, what people need to know basically is that when I'm using any smart device, some information is being collected about me.
Yes, sure.
And then that information will be sold to advertisers.
Yes.
People want to sell something to me. So if through my smart devices, they're able to tell that I'm about to become a father, then I start seeing adverts about father, diapers, children, any vitukaizo. So meaning actually now it's targeted. They know me, and from that information they're able to tell advertisers, by the way, there's somebody here who is about to get a child. Send your adverts this way.
So the way our smart devices, there is a very thin line about privacy and using that information for marketing. So let me go back to our mobile devices. So our mobile devices, you'll discover your phone has a map system,
Google
a GPS
Maps
system. So this GPS system keeps on collecting information on the places you're visiting.
Where I am. So if I go to Rupa Mall,
so they know this particular person is at Rupa Mall. Then chances are, when you're interacting with any of the particular products by that brand
company, they'll recommend.
You'll be recommended products that are
around that
available
place,
that particular place.
Okay.
Yes.
So when Google Maps is on and I'm walking around, I've traveled, they know this person has traveled and they're in this place. This is what is found in this place. Then they can recommend adverts for that.
Yeah, there
On
is the
Facebook.
maps. Then we do also have, what else do we have? Yes, we do have the browser. So the browser will basically tell.
So the browser, for people maybe may not know, they just know them by their names. This is Chrome, this is Firefox.
So the browser basically is a special project, a special program that allows you to access
Search the internet.
Information on the internet. Yes. So
the browsers like Firefox or Google Chrome.
So we have Firefox, we have Google
Internet
Chrome,
Explorer.
Internet
The new one
Explorer,
is called Edge.
Yandex.
Microsoft Edge.
There is Microsoft Edge. Yes. Okay. So basically, they do also collect information about you.
What I'm searching also.
Yes.
So if I go and type on Google,
yeah, so they know that
this person is searching something about this.
Yes. And then the way our lives have been structured, and, this is a generalization, but you'd find that when you have a smartphone, the urge to maybe get information about something, you wouldn't want to engage your mind so much. You'll just go back to your phone. So do you know place X? The fastest thing is check it on Google.
Yeah. We don't think, and for you, think these are, no one else is involved in this process.
Yes.
It's just me.
Yes.
Going to type
so when you're searching that kind of information, you're actually telling the people who run these particular programs, because remember, there's a lot that goes on into maintaining these particular programs.
The servers and where they are hosted,
the hosting and everything, and also just keeping the team of engineers to make sure that you're having seamless experiences with these devices. There's a lot that goes into that, and they need to be paid. When somebody asks me if the internet is bad, I do tell them this: the internet isn't a bad place. It will just bring out the kind of person you are. It's not a bad place. So if your thoughts and your character are skewed towards a certain direction, the internet will just bring that one out.
To bring information also that will emphasize whatever you are looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But there was also a sense of, then I don't have privacy, and because if, for example, I'm feeling unwell and I'm starting to search headache, something else, and then somebody else is there. Now send an advert about medication or something. Yes. And there's a sense of I'm not myself. I can't be. There's no place I can be myself and just say, I'm enjoying my. Is there a reality of that kind of thing?
So that's why I keep saying there's a very thin line to define whether your privacy is being breached and also if marketing is happening. So we do have television sets. Let's go back to the age where we did have analog signals. But you'd find before news, there are adverts. Maybe you want to watch news, but an advert is running
before
on
that
television.
you have to watch.
But because the signal is being given to you as a free service, which means you don't pay for it. When you're watching news on the normal, on the free-to-airs, free-to-airs are just basically televisions which are providing information for free. So when you're when you're getting information from a free-to-air, it means you're not paying for that. So how do this person who's running this particular program make money? He has to run adverts so that when the advertisers are paying, he'll pay that news anchor, he'll pay the people who are looking for the news and everything. Basically maintaining the whole system running.
Okay.
So there's a very thin line when it comes also to technology. To me, my personal opinion would be we need to exercise some caution
on what
whilst using these devices. As I've said earlier, it will just bring out the kind of person you are. Okay. So if, let's say, it's normal for me to want to go and have lunch at Rupa's, maybe visit a certain place just to relax for the weekend. So those are normal things. So if I do share too much that I feel this one is private information to me, then basically I'm the one who's exposing myself. But we need to exercise some caution whilst using some of these devices.
Okay. Yes. So that caution, and we be aware that actually you're not by yourself. Somebody else. There's something else is happening on the other end of that device that you. And it's very convenient. You have it on your hands. You continue using it, and then still somebody is collecting that information from you. And then about the whole concept here, we have talked about the browsers, the internet, the web. Now these words, just to help also people who may not understand them.
So
the web, let's begin with the web. What is the web?
So the web, basically, I think it's a name that has been, it's somehow the unofficial name of the internet. It's derived from it's an abbreviation of the website. So our website is basically a collection of pages that has information about a particular brand or a particular individual. So let me use the SPF website. Yeah. So we do have, if you go to the SPF website, there are different pages. So there's a page, maybe the home page, which has basically shared bits of information.
The first page you see.
Yes. And then there's a page maybe on the church leadership, who are the church founders, how such information. Maybe if you want to donate, if you want to become a member, if you want to visit any of the branches or the home cares, that information is all available on the website. There's a special language that has been used to make this information be visible to the
somebody on the
eye.
phone or on the computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, that is the work of a web designer or yes.
So, and then now, for example, SPF www.spf.church. You go to the phone and you find it. Where is it? Is it in my phone, or is it in in a computer in SPF? Where is it?
This information is hosted somewhere.
So hosting is
basically having that information. Remember, we said the website is the phone is the computer is an input device. Has the input functions and the output. So if I input that, I want. So I'll use what is called the domain. The domain basically is the address of that particular website. So the domain, the SPF
www.spf.church. So that means
is the domain of SPF.
So when it goes to the internet, it's looking for where this www.spf
is
church is.
Yes. So it will search where this information is hosted. Then it will retrieve that information and display
that hosting part.
Yes.
So there is a physical computer somewhere or whatever that is having our pages now as SPF.
Yes. We use the name servers.
Okay. So they are servers.
Yes.
Are they computers?
Yes, they are basically computers.
Why are they called servers?
Because I would say that most of their function is to store the information.
On behalf of clients and other people.
On behalf of clients. So the computing aspect of it is very minimal as compared to the storage aspect of it. Yes.
So if somebody wants access to it, it's available to everyone.
It's available to everyone who has that particular.
Okay. So there's somebody who has those kind of servers, the equipment, those devices.
Yes.
That their job is just to SPF. You want to have your website hosted.
Yes.
You can give you the equipment. You pay for it.
Yes.
So people pay to be hosted.
Yeah, people pay to be hosted. Remember, when you sign up, when you want our website, you'll pay for the hosting fees. That is where the information will be stored, and you'll pay for the domain, which is the address.
The address www.
It's called the URL. In full, it's unique resource locator. Yeah.
So that's how I'll be able to find. If I am typing www, it will go to that particular where it is in a physical device and then retrieve it for me, bring it back to me.
Yes.
So these people who are hosting, they, for example, I think do we have them in Kenya? Is it outsourced?
Yes, something? We do have local hosts. I think even you can become a host. You just need the storage space, the computer, and internet. That's all you need. So you make sure that your internet is actually on throughout, so that anyone wanting to access the
whatever time
will access.
So seamless, also what you are talking about, seamless experience for the users, and ensure that they don't have any issues about that. Because from what you're saying, if the server is off and people are searching for that website and it's not there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then another thing, whilst the information is stored somewhere, when you're doing the retrieval of information, when you're questioning your device to give you that information, so there is something we call cookies. If you're visiting some sites,
Yes, I've seen that
there is
one.
a page that will pop up first and will ask you if you want to
Accept.
accept the cookies. So cookies are just, they're not actual cookies.
See, cookies are nice things. They're biscuits for Americans.
So basically, they are bits of information that will be temporarily be stored on your device.
So it's information that will be stored on my device, on my
Yes,
phone.
on your phone.
If I
This-
say accept
Yeah.
all,
So if you accept the cookies, next time you're visiting that particular site, you will have somehow the process wouldn't be so long.
so long. Oh,
Because there's bits of the information already
already in my phone.
Yes.
So it means that if I'm visiting SPF for the first time and I'm asked to store the cookies,
Yes.
it means that it will leave some information, basic information. So
Basic
next time when I'm going to the same website,
Yes.
it doesn't load up slower.
Slower, yes.
So it will be faster because
Yes.
already there are other things.
Yes.
So it's good, if it's for my good
Yes.
to have the cookies. So I should say yes.
Yes. Depending. Yes. If
They're
you
not
are-
also collecting information from
So
the
the
cookies.
cookies, one, they are storing some bits of data and also sharing back that particular information about you.
So that's the catch.
That's the catch, yes.
Okay. So it's good to accept cookies.
I would say for sites that
You know.
you're sure of their security and good sites, that's it. The sites that you're somehow
Confident about the ones that are not you're not sure
confident
about.
you shouldn't accept cookies from them.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the website.
Yeah.
And also now the internet. How is that related to the web? You said maybe it's another name for internet web.
So the internet is basically an interconnection of networks. That's how the name
What is
comes.
the network?
A network is basically different computers communicating with each other.
So if I have 3 computers that are able to communicate with one another,
Yes.
that's a network.
That's a network already.
Okay.
So if we have the local network, which is those 3 computers.
For example, here in SPF, as a
SPF.
church, there are computers, and then those computers are able to see each other.
Yes. So you're able to, maybe from the IT department of the church, you're able to share some information to
Finance.
to finance and
Right,
such.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a network. That's a local network. Okay.
So the connection might be through cables or wireless. So which means there is internet that is making that communication
okay.
possible. Yes.
So that's the network. And then now you're saying networks can also communicate with the other networks.
Communicate with other networks. So on a global scale, whereby I don't know the number of, I'm not sure of the number of computers we have on the world. I think there might be many by more than the number of human beings, but I'm not so sure. So the number of computers communicating with each other. Remember the servers; those are computers. So this server, maybe let's use YouTube, which has like a billion visitors. Actually, it's said that we spend, I'm not so sure, but we spend most of our time on YouTube. So that's a network within itself. So whatever happens, the information sharing amongst these computers. People who are watching it from their phones, you're able to watch it from your car. Nowadays we have cars that can access the internet. So that's that's basically what forms the internet.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, if I have my computer and my phone and I've joined the internet, I'm basically part of this worldwide thing.
Worldwide thing, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So everywhere in the world, I can be able to, if theoretically, I can be able to communicate with anyone.
Yes. So you're able to communicate. You see, if you have your computer here, I have my phone here. I want to watch YouTube. The servers, which are the computers, are located maybe somewhere in the US. I don't know where. And one thing you'll discover is that I don't know. I'm not so sure. Maybe it's an area of research, but nowadays most of the servers are being located where lakes are. If you look, there is a website that will show you where different servers of different
Companies.
are. You'll find most of them are located where either on a lake or on the ocean. I don't know why they do that. Yeah.
Then there are high security areas.
Yeah, basically.
Because if, for example, if you take off, you're able to interfere with Google, the whole world will suffer.
The whole world will suffer.
Yeah.
I remember there have been a number of times where by some of these sites that are being used by a number of people have been down, and we've seen
Facebook went off sometimes.
Yes, Facebook went off, and it was almost like a crisis on the scale of maybe COVID, because
yes.
people's lives were almost
Interfered.
Yeah.
That's how dependent we've come to.
That's how dependent we are on this.
Okay. So then we have talked about the internet, and then there's you mentioned earlier on about IT, ICT. What is difference? The difference between these two, ICT and IT?
So ICT is an arm of IT. So ICT basically is information, communication, technology. So ICT has an emphasis on how you communicate technologically with these devices.
Okay.
Yes.
So IT is the umbrella.
IT is
the bigger.
Yeah.
Under it there's ICT and the other thing.
Yes.
Maybe.
ICT focuses mostly on
So
communication.
what examples of companies are under ICT here in Kenya, for example?
We do. So we have lots of ICT companies. It would be very hard to separate the two because you'd find someone offering IT services but he's calling himself an ICT company. Someone selling just the devices but he's calling himself an ICT company. So it would be really difficult to separate
both an ICT and IoT companies.
Yes.
Okay. www.
So www is the World Wide Web.
World Wide Web.
Yes.
So that is meaning what you had spoken about earlier, that every computer, if you join the internet through wireless or cable, then you're part of that World Wide Web.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And a Christian was asking, why are they using very bad names? You know, it's a net, it's a web. These are things that trap things.
So
is there any intention to trap people, and are we trapped?
So one, I'll try answer this with my own understanding, not on any set parameter. But you find people who are working on the internet space or on the ICT space. Most of them are hippie people. Hippie meaning
they're not groomed well.
They're not confined to. They're not confined to certain norms of the society. So with the hipness, that is, I spoke of Python as a language. So maybe this person sat down and looked at the characteristics of a Python. And then he was like, I'll name my program Python so that I'll mimic what Python does in its life to make my program run like that. The website, maybe the person sat down and saw it's a web. So if you look the way Spider makes its web, it will have to put a string
connection
here, connect it, and at the end of the day, it has a very beautiful web. So basically,
from that they get those
particular names. Yes.
Yeah, well, for Christians that's a concern. You know, you're naming things Python, WebNet,
yes.
Even Firefox.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, most people just derive the names from different. If you now keenly study those particular areas, you would find that that particular program or that particular name emanates from how that particular name
came about,
that particular animal or being behaves. Yes.
So the characteristic of what the product is should reflect that animal or whatever it is. Okay.
Yes.
Hi. You know, if you open the computer, most of us, it writes Windows or something Windows.
Yes.
What is Windows?
So Windows is basically an operating system.
What is an operating system?
An operating system is what now enables gives life to the computer.
Okay, and allows me to communicate with the computer.
Allows you to communicate.
So it's the one that brings up, starts the computer.
It starts the computer. Makes sure that some of the basic programs are running. Programs are basically some of the.
So, for example, the one that allows me to type.
That is one.
It makes it. And now the operating system allows me to. It starts those in the background, so that when I'm starting to type, it will make sense of what I'm doing.
Yes.
So Windows has to start first.
Yes. For
me to make sense of the computer.
Yes.
And is Windows the only operating system?
We do have a number of operating systems. We have Windows provided by Microsoft. We have Ubuntu.
You're African.
Ubuntu was, I guess, the person behind Ubuntu was so much fascinated about Ubuntuism from South Africa, which is a concept in South Africa about brotherhood.
Yeah.
We have Apple, for Apple devices, what do we call it?
Mac something.
Mac. They do also have their own operating systems, and we do also have some smaller companies that.
So Linux, I've heard of Linux.
Linux, yes. Linux basically somehow has similarities with Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, why aren't people excited about these others? Everyone looks like if you start a computer, it doesn't begin with Windows, they panic.
So it's basically our conditioning with products.
Also, we grew up funding.
Yeah, it's the same way we call all washing powders Omo.
Oh, because that was what we found.
That is what we found.
It's a generic name meaning all the cleaning.
So we've been conditioned. Most of the computers we've used in our lives
Windows.
Are running on the Windows platform. So
and then you mentioned Microsoft. That's the parent company that produces
is the parent
Windows.
company, yes.
Okay. And then when you mentioned Microsoft, there's a person behind Microsoft.
Yes.
It's called Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, yes.
Is he a good person?
Yes, Bill Gates is a nice person. He gives to charity. He's done some revolutionary things, and right now he's putting his money into very noble projects, especially here in Africa. His company has been behind eradicating malaria and some of these diseases.
So in some way we have benefited from him.
Yes.
Somewhere.
Yes.
As a nation, as people in Africa.
Yes.
I heard there was a time he was here in Eldoret and he wanted to buy medicine in a chemist.
Yes.
A simple person.
Yes, he came in as a simple guy and walked into a chemist, and people didn't recognize until later on. They're like, "Oh, that's Bill Gates," but he's already left. So
should have given us some money. Where were we? Okay, and then just to talk about that one, somebody begins their computer and then down there it is written Windows is not activated. What does that mean? So
basically you're illegally using that particular product.
Wow. Yes. And I'm a Christian.
Yes. So
if my computer on the bottom right somewhere it says activated, not activated,
you need to activate it.
That means I pay for it.
That is, you have to pay for it, because at the end of the day, the people who sat down, the morality around this thing is there are people who work making these systems run, improving each and every day. So
they need to be paid for that.
They need to be paid for that, because also to keep up with the same, we need to do changes from time to time.
Updates
and everything. You'll find, let me use an example. A computer that was manufactured, let's say, 10 years ago. Right now it will be a very slow computer.
Yeah.
Very, very slow, because the computing power has improved, the output power, everything around it has improved.
Yeah.
The processing power is very high. So for this person to keep up with, because the producers of computers are independent people. Microsoft do not involve themselves wholly into producing computers. Them, they work on producing the software.
Okay.
So when they are working on producing the software, they have to keep up with the software that will run on that particular...
The platforms that are coming, the hardware that is coming out.
The hardware that is coming out.
So.
And to keep that process optimal, whereby they are producing this...
keeping up
with all these processes, they need to have engineers who need to burn the midnight oil.
Research and develop. Okay. Yes. So these people basically, they should earn from their sweat. They are working. They are working very hard. They need to be paid for that one.
Yes.
So if you're a Christian and you're watching, and your computer is saying activated, not activated, please activate and pay for that. Whatever it will tell you to do. Yes. And you've mentioned hardware and software. Just before we go to another thing. What's the difference between hardware and hardware? I thought it was a place where you go and buy mabati, nails, those kind of things. So what is this hardware thing?
So the hardware is basically the visible aspects of a computer.
The tangible things.
The tangible ones, the ones you can touch. The keyboard, the screen. If you're using if you're still stuck in the ages where people are using computers, Desktop computers, you have the CPU. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the hardware because it's hard.
The hardware.
It is hard.
It's tangible. You can actually see.
So this is soft. Is
So
it
the
also
soft-
soft?
So the software is the invisible aspects of the computer. Those are the languages.
The software, the basically the apps that run the
The
computer.
applications, yes.
So like that operating system we've named Microsoft is
Is a software in itself.
So then like also the browsers.
The browsers are softwares.
Okay.
Yes.
So people like the ones they use for playing music, VLC.
VLC, that's a software.
Writing Office now, the Word thing. Okay.
Yes, those are softwares. Yes.
Okay. And human beings are called?
Human beings just remain to be human beings.
Okay, and then you've opened the computer and then now you want to type the document. You go, people will go and look for W somewhere, a blue W, click on it, search Microsoft Word or 365 or something, whatever they call it nowadays. It's not just by self. If you want to do Excel, if you want to do PowerPoint, those are the names that we use for generic everything that you can do with. There are other PowerPoint softwares, but we use everything is PowerPoint. So these ones are specifically meant to meet a particular need. For example, writing text.
Yes.
I have to go to Word.
Yes.
Okay. Word is also Microsoft.
Yes.
It's from the company called Microsoft. Okay.
Yes.
So some people have seen their computers. They open the Word and then it's red somewhere up there. What does that red mean?
So the red,
Is a line
if
red.
it comes as a warning, it means you haven't activated. Remember, Microsoft needs to make money out of their software. At the end of this, Microsoft will need to pay us. We've promoted them a lot.
But we also, many of our people are using fake Microsoft.
So yes, so we do have different softwares to execute different functions. So if you want to type, if maybe you want to type, there are different softwares. Basically, this software, this code, when it was being written, it was meant to seamlessly help you. Yes, the whole computer can understand it, but now to execute that particular process, they had to make it special in a way that it looks like a book,
Feels like a paper.
feels like a paper and such stuff.
Okay.
When you want to do some calculation, there is a software meant for that. So, and it has all the functionalities. It has some mathematical functionality in it. It has also a bit of data processing and analysis of the data in it.
Okay.
And it accepts mostly, it's geared mostly accepting numbers as opposed to a software that would accept only
Letters.
words.
Okay.
Yes.
And maybe to help people, so if people think that maybe the only apps for those things, softwares for those functions are the Microsoft ones. There are others.
Yes,
For
there is a
example,
number. So there is, Google is becoming, we have Google Docs, which is becoming very popular, and it has the cloud aspect, which means you can store your information on the go. You just type, it keeps on, it backs up the information.
So you won't lose it if a computer goes off? Or
Yeah, if your computer goes off, it's stored somewhere, and you can access it remotely. Microsoft seems to be catching up with that also, but Google came up with this.
So Google also have a word processing?
Yes, a text processing software, yes.
And they can download it and it's online also?
Mostly it's used on the browser, so you'd have
Chrome?
Yes, you'd
I go
have
to Chrome and look for Google Docs?
Yeah, Google Docs, yes.
I can have a page like the one that's on Word?
Yes.
Do I pay for anything like?
So it has limits. We have premium. Premium is where you'd have to access some of the aspects of it. You have to pay for that. But for basic storage of information, just writing and storing,
it's free?
Yes.
Okay. Any other processors like this?
Yes, we do have. You see, when Microsoft started this, they became the pace setters and the leaders in the market. So you would find any other company tries fashioning their product around yes.
So they try to look like Word.
Yes.
But there are many, so somebody should also go on Google and see
Yes, you should
word
just
processing. And there are some that are free. Like that.
Yes, we do have free ones. Totally
There's
free.
one called WPS or something.
WPS, yes, mostly used on mobile, on Android devices, which is totally free. But when you want the premium aspect of it, you have to pay for it.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. And most of the time, people would complain these things are too expensive, and then like here in Africa, there's a concept they're introducing that may be hard to catch on. For example, having to pay yearly for software when you are used to you buy once and then you remain with it the rest of the life.
Yes.
Is there a time where you'll have now to pay to even access information that is stored for you by Google or Microsoft?
So that is happening right now. Let's use most of the email service providers do give you some space to store information.
Sorry, Gmail.
Yes,
or
Gmail.
Yahoo.
Yeah, let's use Gmail. Gmail gives you 30 GB.
So my emails, the amount of emails I can store on Gmail cannot exceed 30
GB. If you want more than that, then you have to pay for it. And you have to pay for it annually. The reason why this happens, I'll still go back to the concept of these people are working. They need to pay their bills. Some of us have our relatives employed in those companies. Yes, we do have some of the Kenyans employed in those companies. So you want a freeware, and then your husband comes home and he tells you, our company is not making money because we are giving it for free. Yes.
So we have to buy and pay for this thing.
Yeah, we do definitely. Depending also on the magnitude of the work. Okay, I'll try to side a bit with us, the users. The prices might seem to be exorbitant because our economic...
It was the same price worldwide.
Yes.
Here in Africa, we don't have the same capacity.
So, but we've had some instances where some of these companies have been trying to provide these services at subsidized... Yes.
So, and you've mentioned email somewhere there?
Yes.
Email.
Yes.
And we are told that nowadays it's a requirement. If you're filling a document somewhere, what is your email?
Yes.
So for a phone, for me to start my phone, I have to put in my Gmail phone.
Yes. So
what is it and why is it important?
So that email is basically an electronic mail. Before we used to have the post boxes.
Those were mails.
Yes, which were mails. We have electronic mails. So that is basically a way of you sending and receiving information, and it has an IP, internet protocol. So that IP is unique to you, which...
So if somebody types in my email, it's basically directing whatever is it that person to me, to my inbox.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, but the person wouldn't see the IP unless he's a technician or an engineer somewhere. Is when he's able to see your IP address. Yes.
But for somebody, just a user, it's the email. The
email, yes.
And you send the text or whatever you're sending to the person. It gets to the person. They open it and they're able to see what you sent.
Yes. And it's been revolutionized to the point of where we are using our emails also for payments. We are using them for a myriad of functions around.
So in another world on its own.
Yes.
Why is it free?
It's not actually free.
But I don't pay anything to Yahoo.
Yes, you don't pay, but there are ads that run on your platform. Yes.
So those are the ones that you make money out of that.
Yes.
And then also, like we said earlier, they can understand, they can collect information
about you. Yes.
Then sell it and get
Okay. So most emails are encrypted, meaning the information that you're sharing, that's actually set by different governments. I don't know about here in Kenya, but it's actually supposed to be encrypted, that the data you're sending is encrypted, that is not visible to somebody outside.
The two,
the sender and the receiver, yes.
So when I'm reading it on my Yahoo, then that means that
the information,
it's now been decoded.
Yes, it's been decoded to you. But nobody else is allowed
can intercept somewhere and see what...
Yes. Okay. Though we have people who can actually intercept and hack, which is illegal. Yes, but legally it's not supposed to be seen. The information is private.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi. And then, so the email, it's very important nowadays. And why is it required for me to start my phone?
So basically, it's like asking me, why do I need a post box office? Yes.
So the email is what to the phone? The post
It's your post box office. Yes, because if let's say I'm in America and I want to send some goods to you, maybe it's Christmas time and I want to send some things to you, the first thing I'll use is your email address. Yes.
So then how is it linked to the phone? That's the part I'm not getting. Can I still use my phone without email?
Not really. The reason why most phones require email addresses, because they need your IP address.
Oh, so it's the one that provides that IP address?
No, the IP address is, I can basically tell your IP address differently from your phone.
Email.
Because your phone also has its own IP address. Yes.
Now, IP is internet protocol.
Yes.
And I've seen IP, the numbers are just numbers.
Yes, they are just
253,
random numbers, yes.
Those numbers. That is a unique number to my phone or to whatever device is that.
Yes, particular device that is accessing the internet.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and then I think as we wind up, social media.
Social media, yes. So before we go to social media, let me just speak of something that is a revolution that is coming up now. We have the Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is basically enabling devices communicate with each other. We nowadays have washing machines that you just place your clothes in, and while you're in the comfort of your office, you can tell the washing machine, now wash my clothes. Then give it information to the point of course, it doesn't have hands to go hang them, but you'll just maybe wash them and dry them. If you want the kind of wash, maybe you just want a medium wash. We do have fridges that will tell you that, hey, milk in your fridge is now reduced, so you need to maybe restock. Yes.
Or it even orders for you.
Yes, we do have vehicles. Your car, basically, when you're driving around, the GPS system for enabling all that communication, and we are moving to the edge where we are having driverless cars, which are still on tests. So basically, this whole communication is called the Internet of Things, whereby we are moving to an edge where we want to now move the communication not only to our phones but also the devices we do
themselves
have. Yes.
That now human being interference is minimal.
Yes.
They just continue. So if I go to the fridge, I should get milk.
Yes.
If I don't get milk, there's a problem with the fridge. The fridge should have told the supermarket.
The supplier to actually bring in milk.
Okay. Is that good or bad?
Well,
I think there's something you're losing.
Well, we might be losing some of the aspects of our lives. Yeah. So if maybe you have shopping delivered in your house, and then you have, let me use an example. You now have a smart home, whereby your fridge is able to order from maybe Amazon. Amazon packs the products and then sends somebody, and then Amazon is also testing the delivery systems. The delivery companies are testing ways where goods can just be delivered without any human being. With the drones and driverless, smaller motorized cars or packages, then it delivers and puts it inside your fridge, and then you come back from work and
everything is fine.
Yeah. So to somebody else, maybe if you have a busy life, it's convenience. But if you just have a normal life, why don't you just walk to the shop and pick the stuff?
Because I'll allow that to happen, then in the evening I'll have to go jogging around.
Yes. Maybe take your dog for a walk. We are looking at it's actually basically most of the technologies are centered around solving problems for particular group of people, particular group in the society. Yes.
Okay. Good. Then I think we'll come in future programs to talk more about those kind of things.
Yes.
Now, just shortly about social media.
Social media, yes. So
what is social media?
Well, social media basically is the social sites, some of these websites we use for interacting with each other on a normal basis. We have Facebook, we have WhatsApp, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have TikTok. So basically, from the word social, our social lives are intertwined with those particular.
So I go to Facebook, I should find a community of people
Yes.
that I can interact with.
Yes. So
Become social with.
basically, the reason why most of us joined Facebook at its inception was basically to interact with people back from high school, and we
Yeah,
formed
friends.
groups, and we'd even do Facebook meetups and such. We now have WhatsApp. If we have, it's now moved from the point of you have a problem, maybe someone is sick. The easiest thing is to form a
Start a
fundraising
Group,
add people, and
communicate easily. Better
yes.
that way, okay.
yes,
So it's a way for groups of people to meet and interact
Yes.
meaningfully.
yes,
The most common ones are Facebook, WhatsApp, nowadays Instagram.
yes.
Instagram and also TikTok.
TikTok is very popular with the young people.
Yes.
I guess in
Future programs. We can delve into. I think those require
Yeah.
programs on their own so that we understand fully. There are parents who don't have an idea
yes,
what Instagram is.
yes,
They think the young people are on Facebook, but it's just a profile photo and no one is there.
no. Actually, they do actually fill in a need in our lives. Right now, I'm able to interact with my friends whom I studied with in primary school, which are maybe 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
These people have moved on with their lives. Some of them have traveled around the world. So I'm able to interact with them one-on-one. Let's say, for example, WhatsApp. I'm able to talk to a friend maybe in America. I'm able to do a video call and see his face. He can show me his family and such stuff. So they do feel in a need.
I need for that.
The problem is what I said earlier. These things will only amplify who we are inside. Yes. So if you do have, there have been lots of talk about mental health and such. So if you do have issues within yourself,
They'll bring
then
it out.
they'll amplify those particular issues. Yes.
So I think we'll dedicate one of the future programs to specifically social media and even specifically to those particular platforms so that we're able to exhaust.
Sure.
That's where most of young people's lives are spent, even
Yes.
older people nowadays. I see many people
Yes.
on Facebook
Yes.
the whole time. So we'll come back and do that next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Any final words as we wind up this particular program?
We've just said something about social media. It's an area whereby I am developing some interest around on how it affects people's lives and everything. How people can easily be driven to a certain path when using those particular platforms. So it's an area where people need to exercise lots of caution when using them. Another place is just basically the use of the internet. So we also need to actually do a stock take on how this animal called the internet affects our lives. There are people who are actually using it on the positives, are making money. Basically, it's their livelihood. And there are people whose lives are being affected with, yes. So if each and everyone should do a stock take of his life around the internet. If you're spending, I'll use the phone, if you're spending more than 4 hours daily on your phone, you're actually eating into your productive time. Studies have been done. They found out that the reward system, that is the dopamine, they found out that the reward system that is the dopamine receptors.
A psychological way of appreciating something.
Yes.
Feeling
Yes.
so it's beneficial to you.
Yes. So the dopamine receptors that are triggered with alcohol and other drugs actually do have some similar reaction to our usage of the internet.
So what somebody can get from, for example, cocaine.
Yes.
The
That high, yes.
They also can get it from
the
Instagram or TikTok.
Yes. So we
So
do
an
need
addiction can develop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we do need to actually look at the way we use these particular devices. The good thing is that there is hope. There are people who are talking about it, and there are also ways on how to actually block some of the things that
Even I think our phones even can tell you. There's most of the Androids now can tell you your digital well-being. They can tell you spend this number of hours on Facebook, this number of hours on WhatsApp.
Yes.
So if you can go and check your phone, digital well-being, it will tell you how many hours you spent in a week on a particular app, and you can see sometimes when you sit by yourself, you wow.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel that way when you were using
Yeah, true.
Thank you so much for your time and
Thank you.
for your insights that have been very helpful.
Thank
we'll
you.
be seeing you next time.
Thank
Thank you
you.
also for taking time to be with us today. See you next time, and God bless.